The words we use, they matter. Beaches are starting to reopen, and what celebrity broke the internet yesterday?
Welcome to the Hopefulist, a daily talk show hosted by veteran broadcaster Wendy McClure. Join Wendy each day as she shares her life lessons that transformed her from perpetual pessimist to the ultimate hopefulist. The perfect morning show to get you caught up on the day's top stories while sharing insights that will lead to positive transformation and bring out the hopefulist in you. For more inspiration, visit hopefulist.com. And now, here's your host and hopefulist, Wendy McClure.
Hello there and welcome to a Thursday. It is May 7th, 2020, day 235 of Gotta Get On Ellen, and day 25 of the hashtag Hopefulist Challenge. Thursdays are one of those days. Is it anybody else? One of those days where it's just anticipation all day. I spend half the day thinking that it's Friday, half the day being disappointed that it's not Friday. It's just one of those transition days where you're like, it's almost Friday, but not quite yet. Yeah, Thursday's one of those days. And I feel a little bit bad for Thursday because we all go through Thursday wishing it were Friday. Nobody wants it to be Thursday unless it's like payday or something for you. Who wants a Thursday? You know, but it's Thursday. Let's make the best of it. Tomorrow is Friday. Have you seen the picture of Adele? She lost quite a bit of weight. Some would say, and I have to admit, I did not recognize her. I saw a picture and I was like, wow, who's that? She looks awesome. Really pretty. Adele? She said that she used to cry and now she sweats. She hasn't been on social media since January, I think. Somebody's using quarantine in a very good way. Her and her husband of 3 years split last year. And maybe that was part of the kickoff to a major weight loss. Maybe she just decided to get in shape. It's always for me anyway. When I went through a breakup, it was one of those times where even if I did want to eat, I would convince myself I was too distraught, and I would often use it as a time to lose some major weight. Worked for me in the past. Don't plan on going through it again. But a lot of times women will lose a dramatic amount of weight after a split. One, because they're upset, and some women, instead of eating more, eat less. I was always the kind of person, if I was just kind of depressed or whatever, I would eat more. But if I was like distraught, then I wouldn't eat at all. I lost about 25 pounds after one breakup. And I remember a guy I worked with at the time, he was like, what is it with women? Why do y'all look all hot and everything after we break up with you? I'm like, it's poetic justice. There you go. She will more than likely have an album coming out soon, and I cannot wait for that. Is there anything better than an album that is written through heartbreak? They really are the best times in music. I remember Christina Aguilera. Do you remember her album Stripped back in the early 2000s? It was such a great album. I still listen to it. In fact, I just got it on iTunes. I had it a number of times. It was one of those albums that I just kept buying over and over again. Somebody had made a copy for me originally, then I lost it, then I bought the CD, and now CDs are just completely useless, so I just purchased it again recently on iTunes. That is a really, really great album. If you've not really ever dug into it, some amazing music. And then the next album, She Was Married and Happy, and it sucked. Kelly Clarkson's another one. A little too happy to make the great music that she used to make. Although Kelly didn't really write a lot of her songs. But it seems that heartbreak really coincides with great, meaningful music. So looking forward to the next album from Adele. Did I ever tell you that I had the opportunity to meet Adele? I did. I had the opportunity. I did not take advantage of it because you know why? I wanted to go home and take a nap. It was one of those things where she was coming to my work and she had like one song at the time. She was not the person that she is now. If I had heard now that Adele was coming to my work, I would clear my schedule. I would give up the nap. But I did not stay. And yes, she turned into what she turned into. You know, these are those things where you meet so many people when they're starting out in the business that I was in. Some of them turned into huge major stars. Others never heard from again. So, you know, you pick and choose. At the time, a nap was a little more important. Do I wish now that I was stuck around? Of course I do. Of course I do. Wish I had a selfie with Adele. That's the other thing. His management at the radio station was always like, don't bother them asking for pictures and don't do this. Well, then what am I waiting around for? So I can just watch her walk in the door? Come on. That's no fun. It seems that beaches are going to start reopening here in the Garden State. There is a list of rules. One of them is no sunbathing, which I find to be hysterical. Yes. Of all of the liberties we have been taken from us, the one that really, really got me was no sunbathing on the beach? What? Are you crazy? I can't sit on the beach? I can't sit on an area that is miles long, that has a width of hundreds of yards, depending on the beach that you're on. I'm guessing that they're thinking that as long as people keep moving, like you're going to be allowed to walk on the beach, I think you're going to be allowed to fish on the beach. So really, what is the difference if you're fishing, you're standing in one spot, or if you're sitting? It seems completely ludicrous to me that I can walk on the beach, but I can't sit in a chair on the beach. Because if somebody can't walk around me with a 6-foot radius, they've got a problem. Not my problem. They've got a problem if they can't figure out how to walk around me. I guess that they don't want people weaving in and out of people. It baffles me. I mean, I kind of get it from that respect, but don't tell me I can't sit on the beach. Don't you dare tell me I can't sit on the beach. And I don't even go to the beach to sit on the beach. I stopped going to the beach long ago. People are annoying. People are annoying on the beach. I stay in my own backyard. I do, however, go to the beach to watch the sunrise on a semi-regular basis. That I'm sure would be fine. Not many people there. I guess they're trying to do it for crowd control. I don't know. Seems ridiculous to me. I mean, Memorial Day is coming up. I don't know. It's just the world we live in right now is completely crazy. But opening certain things with these restrictions, I get it. Yeah, I kind of get it. But why are you allowed to fish? I don't know. It's making me angry. It's making me a little angry. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to move on to the topic of the day. I kind of set you guys up a little bit. I was thinking about the blog post that I have for today, and I thought maybe I would set you guys up to show you how the use of your words and your language would be something that I could use as an example to show you how powerful the words that you use in your life can be. So I wanted you to finish the line, life can be. And I have to tell you, I was very pleasantly surprised to see I really didn't get any negative posts. Even the ones that were kind of on the border were more of, Not negative, just kind of, For example, Kathy said unpredictable. Yes, it is unpredictable. Val said interesting. Larry said I better not comment. No, Larry, you probably shouldn't. Jamie says amazing. Anne said rewarding. Linda said a dream. Michelle said an adventure. Joe said fickle. And Lori said surprising. Now, it's funny because when I wrote it up there, I guess I'm the worst of the bunch. I'm the big pessimist. Says I thought life can be hard. That's the first thing that came to my mind was life can be hard. I do like rewarding, though. That is a good one. So when it comes to the words that we use, it's so important because it shapes the way we look at every situation. If people would have been saying things like life can be awful, life can be horrible, life can be the worst, you probably don't have that great of an outlook on life in general. And sometimes we need to flip our dialogue and use words that point out the positive rather than the negative. Of course, this is my life's work, right? And it seems that the teacher is behind all of the students. So guess I got me a little more work to do. As I mentioned, today's blog post is about the words that we use. We don't even realize how much power they have over us, the way they are used toward us, about us, and what we say to ourselves. Women especially, so hard on ourselves. The self-talk we have, horrendous. At least mine used to be. I never let myself off the hook. I held myself to impossible standards and then bashed myself over and over when I fell short. We have a self-talk going on all the time, and most of the time we don't even realize it. Just thoughts. We don't pay attention to it, but our subconscious does. It's taking notice and acting accordingly. What is the number one rule of the Hopefulist? That's right. Never call yourself names. And I mean never, never, never. It's so important. Once you get out of the habit and you find yourself sliding back in at some point, you will realize how damaging it always was. When we talk harshly to ourselves, we are constantly putting ourselves down. What if at the end of the day we started celebrating all we accomplished instead of berating ourselves for not getting everything done on the to-do list? And start counting all the things we have to do, like get the kids breakfast and ready for school, or just going to work and being productive there. Did you cook dinner, clean up? Yeah, that counts. Did you pick up some takeout? You got the kids and yourself fed. Bravo. I tend to be very hard on myself when I don't get the things on my list done, but I never give myself credit for doing a blog post every day and hosting a podcast every day. Now, don't get me wrong, they're on my to-do list, but not only that, but I group them all together. On my to-do list, one item is blog, podcast, social media. Okay, those are three separate things. I really should separate them. Even yesterday, before I even got up off the couch to come over here and do the podcast at 5:30 a.m., I paid the bills. Wednesday's payday at our house. Went on the bank account, checked how much the paycheck was this week. Joe's paycheck's never the same. Never the same. Works overtime. Always just a little bit different. Checked the amount of his paycheck, paid the bills. This was before 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't give myself credit for that. Maybe it's not a big deal, but it's something. Somebody's got to pay the bills. Paid the bills. Give myself credit for that. Sometimes I go into crazy work mode and then I do nothing other than, of course, the blog and the podcast for the next 2 days. Maybe I take on too much at once and have to learn to do a little less at a time. Or maybe this is just my way, being gung-ho for a day or two and then taking a couple of days off. Maybe that is what works best for me. Only I can decide that. But as I figure it out, Calling myself lazy and telling myself I will never get anywhere will not